Welcome back to Urdak.
Yep, we're finishing up the Ancient Gods Part 1 this time.
You know, another... Oh.
That I am what was known as the Father. While I have indefinite access and understanding of this world's systems, I lack the control over them necessary to remove the demons and reseal the void. Without a physical form, I am merely a presence. I have no recollection of myself. I believe my essence from the sphere could return me to my full faculties.
Destroying the...
Clearly doesn't know what you did in the swamp. Maybe he thinks you're here to help him.
You would think that the sphere wouldn't, like, because it was destroyed, like, you would think he'd be all of himself. Like, minus his body, of course, but his mental, like, self should all be there, you would think.
Yeah, it's like, how is there his life sphere over there, but then another piece of him that was Vega?
Yeah, that doesn't really...
We're running into dream drop distance problems with Kingdom Hearts lore, where it's like, they can regrow hearts. Okay, what about with the original heart?
Some Shipathesia stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But the intern says maybe he thinks you're here to help him, implying we're not here to help him, which that isn't our main goal, but... Eh?
I don't know. It's weird because it's like... You get two kinds of gods in fiction. You get the omnipotent gods that literally know everything, and then you get everything in between. Oh boy, that was a close one. And yet you came back stronger than ever. That was nuts.
That's what happens when you actually use the flame belch on groups of enemies.
Mm-hmm. So, the aesthetic of this area, well, this level, rather, I figured out another thing it reminds me of is there's this place called Casablanca in, I think it's Nevada or Arizona, whichever one is to the I can never remember what state is directly to the west of us. I want to say it's Arizona.
No.
Is that Nevada?
Directly to the west of us is Nevada.
Oh. Wait, is Las Vegas in Nevada or Arizona?
It's Nevada.
Huh. I'm so confused. Anyway. Well, either way, there's a cool place that has like a pool area with a bunch of artificial lights, and the plants almost look like they have lights in them, and just a real fun... This place was a real nice resort before it went to shit. Not the actual place. That place is still going good. Anyway, so yeah, you were saying that QuakeCon didn't show off this game at all? I'm surprised at that.
So, that was what I thought at the time. What actually happened was that they did have some Dark Ages info revealed, but it was only at a behind closed doors presentation. So, a little bit of what they did show off was that apparently the levels are going to be a bit more open.
Okay, that could be good if they don't go too far.
Yeah, I hope it's not straight up open world, pick stuff up off the ground bullcrap.
That doesn't work.
A little, maybe less hallway-y would be fine.
Because enough space to really enjoy that shield is going to be important.
Mm-hmm. Right. Speaking of that shield, it is apparently a traversal option.
What does that mean?
I don't know. But that's what people have been saying, that it can be used for moving about.
Okay.
I guess it's like...
Maybe like the meat hook, kind of?
Well, I don't think so. I think it might be like Static Shock riding the shield.
Oh, sick! I love that. That's
Maybe
great.
Maybe not in the air, but...
Oh yeah, still, like, kind of like the spinner from Twilight Princess, but less crap.
Yeah, and as expected, based off of the first trailer and what was said after it, apparently the jump is way weightier, a lot less verticality involved. So I think they compared it to the Fallout power armor jump.
I'm a little worried about that because Doom's movement tech feels like it's gotten refined with each game. And that sounds like a step back a little bit. So I hope they have enough to compensate that you don't feel like you're out of control or can't control yourself enough.
Well, like I said before, the entire point here is that they looked at the original game and realized, wow, those projectiles were really slow, and there were a lot of them, and they all mattered. So they're basically trying to innovate in the horizontal direction instead of vertical.
Okay, so
It's not so much of a step backwards as much as it is a lateral move, trying to experiment with a different focus.
yeah, I guess as long as you can move, dash left, right, back, forward pretty good, you'll still be okay.
Because you could make an argument that they've kind of done all that they can with Eternal style, at least for now.
No, I agree.
So, shifting directions is fine.
I'm good with that. I just hope it's not, like, demonstrably feels... I mean, I'm sure I'll get... Because to be fair, playing this game versus the other game, it's not like they're one-to-one either. Like, their game feel is different.
Yeah. They said that the glory kill system has been, quote, reinvented.
Okay.
So I would imagine that while it's still present, it's probably going to function and look and feel a bit different.
Yeah.
They're doing something different with it, which I honestly kind of expected.
You know, to take a page out of the stuff that you really like, I wonder if it's going to be like a Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 3 in terms of, how do you say it? The movement tech of those games. Oh, that was a good finish shot. But, like, in the first game, you could move okay, and then the second game, it felt a lot better. And then the third game, they expected you to have wide open areas to go to town, but then they had the hallway problem, I think, is what you've told me?
No, Kingdom Hearts 1 was, it was very heavy. You barely had any airtime, which was fine. It led to some great things. Kingdom Hearts 2 turbocharged the combat system, and it did make it a little bit more, I'll use the word, I know some KH fans don't like it, but I'll use it. It was a little more floaty, but relatively so, and it was fine, and I think the combat had a lot of interesting mechanics that worked quite well. Kingdom Hearts 3, I like the game. I can genuinely say that I like it, but in a lot of ways I feel like it was a step down from 2.
I see. So I just want to point out a couple things here about the level design. So one, outside I noticed there's like planets and stuff. This is a whole different dimension, right? It's not just... Yeah.
It's a different plane of existence like hell.
Because, like, I see lots of different aspects. And then... That thing up there that we're just walking under,
He doesn't seem to know you have the Dark Lord
that
here.
thing almost looks like it could have been alive at one point, rather than just a statue of somebody, but... I mean, for all their angelical attempts, there's a lot of Zerg vibes out of the makers when it comes to, like, just weird, organic...
Yeah, you strip off the outer shell and you got weird
Yeah.
aliens in the middle, and I totally meant to do that.
Yeah, because I could totally see them, the makers engineering a maker that's like, your purpose is to be this building's decoration. That's just how it is.
So here we have a spirit-possessed tyrant, and yeah, he's kind of a problem.
Yeah. Man, on hard, I noticed, okay, I could be wrong, but the chainsaw health gives you, I think, less health on harder modes if what I just looked at was right. Or maybe you're just so low of health that it didn't make that big of a difference. Oh my gosh.
This is so efficient.
No, go after the ghoul, well, I guess you have to go after both.
It's fine. It's not going to jump that quick.
Yeah. Oh!
And I need more
That was an
stuff.
amazing jump.
There we go. In addition, another thing they showed off about Dark Ages is that, somewhat in keeping with the theme, they are apparently expanding the melee aspect.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
There are 3 weapons, melee weapons. The fists, which apparently create chains of lightning.
Oh!
A mace and a flail, and the flail is apparently the replacement for the chainsaw in the sense that it's how you get ammo back.
Okay. What's the I always thought a flail and a mace were the same thing. What's the difference?
I think a mace doesn't have the spiky bit at the end of a chain. It's just a pointy thing on a stick.
Okay.
Whereas the flail has it on that chain.
Gotcha. Because that almost sounds like they would almost want... It's weird they have that as two separate weapons rather than you upgrade the one weapon into the other, because it's very similar, but...
I mean, it could be that they have two very different purposes.
That's true. I mean, we got two shotguns and they have two different purposes.
They apparently the weapons we've seen include a double-barrel plasma shotgun, whatever that means.
That sounds sick as heck.
We did see the standard, regular, single-barrel shotgun. You can nail enemies to the wall, TF2 Huntsman style, with the nail gun.
That's pretty on brand, honestly.
The giant mech that we briefly saw in the announcement trailer is apparently a little less gimmicky than I was giving it credit for.
Good.
So it will be more fleshed out.
Thank goodness.
Apparently have its own, like, glory kill system.
That's
and
great.
Whatnot.
Because I'm going to be real honest. I bought Ancient Gods 1 and 2 hoping that you got to... I was like, well, we saw it, and then we never got to use it, so maybe it's in the DLC. Nope.
Similarly, I think the dragon that they showed off in that first trailer will also be a little less gimmicky than I was giving it credit.
Good.
So, and I heard something about it being, like, fairly seamless in getting on it. It won't be, like, you know, specific sections or you know, brief levels where you play as it and then you're back.
So it's more like a
Yoshi.
Yoshi.
A little more integrated. So, something like that. And I think that's about it.
Blood Punch and Pinkies. So fun. So
yeah, we've got these two little segments here near the end where we have two areas off to the side that focus on basically just using this one mechanic, either the exploding shields or blood punches.
I did feel like you don't have to go over here, but am I wrong? Do you have to go to both sides?
I think you only have to do one, but I decided to do both because whatever.
Mostly because I was desperately trying to find how to get to that Codex, because I got really stuck on that for a while. So, speaking of, or on the topic of Kingdom Hearts, has there ever been an attempt to try to make Kingdom Hearts 1 in the engine of Kingdom Hearts 2?
I don't... Well, I think there was a mod for Kingdom Hearts 1 that tried to make it play more like Kingdom Hearts 2.
Right, because the combat system, I wouldn't mind using that, because, I don't know, there's just more to it. I mean, there is a lot to one. Okay, so I think the reason I really got confused in this room... Let's see if I remember why. Yeah, because the grav lift comes on, and then you shoot... Because that's the way forward. Yeah. And then to get the
It's this thing back here. So it's that thing I just shot that allows you to go through that door.
Okay, this is embarrassing how long it took me to figure that out. I think part of it was I assumed I could get through before I went up there, and that really messed me up. But then again... Man, now I want sparkling Welches. All this purple drink everywhere. I miss purple stuff.
According to the Codex tablets, if you kill the Dark Lord, any demon outside of their world will be destroyed.
But not
how convenient.
In hell. So the demons will still be fine in hell, huh?
Yeah, the ones in hell will be fine, but everything outside, like on Earth, will be dead, which it's awfully convenient.
So are these drones just kind of incubating, or...?
I guess so. It could be related to the fact that Urdak is falling apart, though. Maybe they're... I don't know.
It reminds me of all the Luminoth that were in hibernation when everything was going to heck.
Right,
hey,
in Prime 2.
You know, you held up pretty good, despite, well... Oh. Oh, gosh. I'm convinced somebody was a fan of Aliens, the Alien series, when they made these designs. My gosh.
This was one of the main reasons why I felt like the Quake skin was appropriate for this level, because we got a little bit more of, like, Lovecraft vibes.
Yeah. It is one of my personal icks for a character to have an exposed brain, assuming that's what I'm looking at.
I believe that is it, yeah.
I just don't like... Like, Mojo Jojo always made me feel sick whenever he got beaten up. There's, I guess the brain from, like, DC Comics was always, like, ew. I just don't like it. The brain is an internal organ explicitly.
Yeah, I mean, that is the ultimate coalescence of all of your central nervous system.
Right. I mean, there's also the fact I don't like to be reminded I am my brain.
Actually, I remember playing the Zero Escape series, and that had an interesting take on that. The idea being that your brain is just an output device.
And that makes... I could see that. Like, if your, like, ghost hooks up to that.
You know, you have a soul, and your soul sends the signals to it, and then it seems like all the stuff is coming out of your brain.
Right. That's kind of... As a religious man myself, that's kind of my take on that, really, but... Because I don't like... That's the only way to justify... the fact that if you mess with the brain, you can change someone's personality, which is like, oh gosh. But yeah, then again, your gut has enough neurons in it to have its own centralized nervous system, which is kind of insane.
We learn more about the human body every year, so
It's pretty great. Yeah, and they finally did the first successful eye transplant through optic nerve supply, so I'm excited for that. It's not good enough for me to go and do it myself, because the guy can't see out of it yet, but the signals are reaching the brain. He can't see, though, which is weird. So, more research is needed. I hate this fight, by the way. This fight was awful.
It's... the spirit aspect of it is not my favorite.
I do find it interesting that Sammy here, he can spawn demons and spirits. For
or
that
maybe
matter.
he's just summoning them?
Right, that's the word I should have used. But it's interesting.
Or maybe they're just barging in on the party.
That's true. Although it did seem like he was... You could see, you know, energy tendrils...
Oh yeah, the spirits
To
are
the
definitely
spirits.
his, but the spirits are definitely demons, and he's a
maker.
Murdoch, so he's an angel.
Although it almost looks like they're giving him the shield, so maybe it's more like... Although, okay, no, because the question... Because if we're on our way to resurrect the Dark Lord, would the demons not want to assist us in that pursuit?
That assumes that they know that we're doing that, and
Right.
aren't just trying to myrtleize the Slayer as always.
Right. Bloodlust and whatnot. It's funny, I went decades, at least 2. Oh. Did you beat him already?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Yeah, this phase was terrible. I hated this phase. But when Strongbad said, "Oh, some serious Kako demons," I had no idea what he was talking about for maybe 2 decades.
So I think a second ago, the game respawned me in a certain area, like I fell off of a cliff.
That was weird.
And I'm not sure why it did that. I think I was just in between a couple of platforms.
Times
So,
like...
yeah, go ahead.
No, you say it. My thing was stupid.
I was just going to say that Samur here has a habit of juking out of the way pretty quickly. So,
hate
you
it.
know, I try and charge up a arbalest shot, and he just dodges it.
Yeah.
So stick with hit scans.
Yeah. What guns have hit scan anyway?
Anything where there's not clearly a projectile.
Okay.
So I would say the regular ballista shot, the oh, why can't I think? I think the bullet weapons are okay, even though they're technically projectile. They move so fast that I don't think that it really counts.
Yeah. I do find it interesting that these AoE eyeballs gave me a lot of trouble, but they also were a good source of getting like resources back, so they both gave and took. I did lose a fair amount of lives on this fight, though.
Yeah, I think the best way to deal with the eyeballs is to use the multi-lock, the lock-on mod for the rockets. Alright, spirit-possessed pain elemental is surprisingly problematic.
Yeah, he took so much damage, it was stupid. And they keep spawning in more demons.
And blood makers.
Yeah.
I have to focus on them because I can only attack them at certain times. There we go.
So you saying the word hit scan reminded me that Pat and Wooly were talking about Marvel's like attempted Overwatch that's in third person. And I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like it's one of those games that's too good to be true and that's probably gonna be ruined by microtransactions.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're ripping off Overwatch. Of course, it's going to be monetized and awful.
Yeah, it just stinks because it sounds great, and my dream characters to get in would be Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur as like two separate characters because you could do so much with them. I feel like
I'm just so over Marvel at this point.
True, but this isn't Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is Marvel, so it's not as
No,
tired.
it isn't, but the whole brand is so based around it that they want it to at least seem MCU enough for the normies.
I get it. I guess I have such a separation in my mind between MCU and what's actually Marvel that it just doesn't feel as bad, but I get you. I've been burned out.
That whole segment is like I spent 10 years going to the theater to see those. I'm done.
Ugh.
I'm honestly done.
I get you. No, I get it.
It is not required that you end his life. Your mission here is now your own.
So,
And that's the last we've seen of Sembor.
did he teleport? Like, did the father do that, or?
I would have to assume so. But yeah, still, no idea what happened to him. I guess they were loath to get rid of that character.
It just sucks because now we don't have Samuel, so great job, guys. Also, I hate the texture of this floor, but I also kind of like it. I don't know.
It's pretty cool.
The consequences of your actions here are irreversible.
I wasn't the one who brought the icon of sin here. I just did what had to be done.
Although maybe
We only had one model for makers.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Although it makes sense if we're going with the insectile style. But I'm thinking...
They did at least go through the lore to say why these guys would help resurrect the Dark Lord.
It's like anybody who has a life spear must be helped regardless.
Yep.
So this is the Forge of Creation... No, what is it? Machine?
Engines of
Creation. This is the first point of existence in the multiverse of Doom.
Pretty much. This is where the father stopped for any length of time and sort of took a rest, and so Urdak bloomed around him.
Right.
And this was the center point of that.
Looking like an Oscar.
The Dark Lord is the leader of Hell's armies. Not a king, but a warrior of the Dark Realm.
Oh.
The fiercest among them, as only the strongest can rule the demons. It is you, in their world.
That blew my mind.
And how exactly the two of them are connected is not been clearly explained. It seems like they flip-flop constantly.
Yeah, the lore that I read for both I kind of get it, but once again, the lore in this game feels kind of, shall we say, there's a lot of ideas, and not a lot of those ideas actually somehow link up into each other. A lot of loose threads and knots that don't actually go anywhere.
Yeah, they seem to be going for feel, but don't quite finish what they start.
Yeah, so here's hoping... Like, I don't need them to tie everything up into a perfect little bow in the third game. Like, that's fine, but at the same time, I want an effort to try to, like, maybe fit a couple of the pieces better together. But as long as the game's fun, I don't care. I mean, I do like when my lore makes sense, but I'll take a good game over a good story.
But yeah, it's something like the Dark Lord wasn't involved in Doomguy's creation, but they're related, and
Reading the Codex, I don't know if it's in part 2, where it says he was a part of the Dark Lord. I don't know. It's weird. Like,
I believe that the Dark Lord, a piece of, like a fragment of a soul or something, was put into the divinity machine.
Oh, and that got put, and then that souped up Doomguy.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a coincidence that you two look like identical twins. Although I do think it's clever that they're like, we don't want to model another human. Just,
I don't know. They made a lot of modifications to Doomguy's.
They did. They gave him a lot of
model.
sick tattoos and weird skin textures. Kind of. Oh. 2020 is when that came out, huh?
When the original game came out, yeah. All right, well, that does it for the first chapter of the Ancient Gods. We will see you when we tackle Ancient Gods Part 2 next time.